Mark of integrative nutrition is conversations about bio-individuality. One person's food is another person's poison, and especially noticing the extent that in the nutrition world that kind of obvious thing gets very overlooked. But it makes sense to me that men eat differently than women, young people eat differently than older people. You're going to be eating differently if you are doing construction work or physical labor every day, or if your job is to park your butt in the chair and most of your exercise is moving your fingers like this. We eat differently in the winter time than we do in the summer. And I'm a big believer in choosing what to eat in the moment, what makes sense for the body, the way all other mammals do. And if we could use our education system, public school system, high school system, to educate children to understand this, we'd have a very different country and a very different world. It just makes sense that going through school, rather than memorizing years of wars and who killed who, that same time could be allocated to teaching children like you did, with your 15-year-old to, this is Frosted Flakes, not so good. And so it's a little bit, you have to wonder, how did the education system get to where it is today to prioritize war years and sitting in rows over teaching the young people who are the future of this country how to take care of themselves and how to eat well, and also how to have successful relationships. If I was designing an education system and I knew there was a 50% divorce rate, I would certainly add into the curriculum somewhere along the way a little education about relationship. I mean, how obvious is that? So why do you think that doesn't happen? Why do you think there's nothing in the school, people go from 0 to grade 12 and almost nothing about really eating well and about having happy, healthy relationships. It only makes sense that there is no one right way. You can't have a list of good foods and bad foods. It's one person's food is another person. It switches around. And the one person who can do really well on protein powder, the other person, they just get diarrhea or they get sick. Or even the person who does well on protein powder can do well on protein powder for a day or a week or a month. And then at some point, they're like, if I ever have one more protein powder, I'm going to die. So it's got to be a non-cerebral process. Education has to be there. And then once you have the fundamentals of understanding how it works, then you wing it. Then you do what works, and it's always changing every minute, every day, every week, every month, every season, every year.